What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. And I've got Robbie Farlow here today. And he's the head honcho of SideQuest Fitness. And actually, first time I stumbled upon Robbie's stuff was on Twitter. And he wrote this killer ebook. He had like the perfect... It was the perfect mesh of like getting somebody super interested in fitness in kind of like a gamerish way. Like I was like completely fascinated by this book, and I've seen some of the testimonials and the transformations he's done. Unbelievable. I also read through that book and it was killer. And the thing about Robbie is that he puts kind of a nerdy twist on things in a cool way. Because I've seen some stuff. I've read material that's kind of like it, and it seems kind of forced. But Robbie does it in like the coolest way. So I'm like super stoked that we got him on today. He's a personal fitness coach, and he's the man. We've exchanged some interesting Snapchats.
I mean, that's true. I won't. No dick pics yet.
No dick pics yet. Not yet. We're not at that. We're not at that level in our relationship yet.
Yeah, but that might be weird to people who are like, wait, so you're saying that like that could happen? I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened yet. Yeah, I'm not cutting off. I'm not cutting off the option. I'm a man of opportunity. Cool. All right, Robbie. Well, why don't you get into your introduction a little bit, and maybe just tell me a little bit, or tell everybody watching, kind of your story and like what your breaking point was, because I feel like there's always a breaking point. Because I know for me, I tried getting in shape like so many times, and then I was like, fuck it, that's it. This is happening now. And then I feel like once it becomes a must, that's when it happens. So I will let you take it away.
Dude, I agree with that. There's a side tangent. There's a great book called The Crossroads of Should and Must.
The Crossroads of Should.
Really short, like you can read it in like an hour. But it talks about that like you only do things when you realize you must do it. Like everyone tells you you should, and you fight it till you must do it. I guess my story is like I grew up playing sports because that's just what you did. I mean, I played video games, but I got yelled at by my dad for saying
Me too, dude.
I was playing video games.
Yep.
But I grew up playing basketball and baseball, and just being a young boy and enjoying that sort of camaraderie and competitiveness. But who like sat on the bench, and just kind of stayed sort of. I guess people would consider me average, though kids in school are cruel. So I was 20 or 30 pounds heavier than kids in like first or second grade, and then they all caught up to me by middle school, and it's like, ha, fuckers. but I was really out of shape. I had no conditioning, no strength, no anything. And I don't. The thing is, Joe, is that it's never one thing. Like it's a conglomeration of a lot of things that happen that sort of get you off your ass. Like there's usually like a breaking point, but it's all this trash that's piled up at once, and then there's like that one thing that just like breaks the camel's back, and you're like, oh, that's it. I'm done.
100%, dude. 100%.
Yeah.
It's like a conglomerate that just builds up. It's like this just pile of trash that you keep shoving in a closet until like the closet just explodes, and you're like, all right, I gotta pick this shit up now. I completely agree. Yeah, man. So let me ask this: what compelled you? Was it after you kind of got the results that you got and you were like, you know what? I want to help gamers with this. I want to help kind of help facilitate this for people that were like me. Was it so? What was the point where you were like, you know what? I think I want to like become a fitness coach.
I think a lot of it is sort of. Uh, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in my life. I was still sort of chasing one thing or the other. Um, but everyone kept asking me, like, "Dude, what did you do? Like, how did you do it?
Yeah,
Can
that's
can
awesome.
you can you can you help me?" And the way I see the world, Joe, is through the prism of video games and Star Wars and comic books. Like that's everything. Like my wife can tell you, she's not much of a nerd at all, which is amazing that we got married. But I guess opposites attract. Um, but like
Totally.
through my life, and I'm like, yeah, but it's sort of like in Star Wars, or sort of like Captain America said this, or like in Skyrim, and she's like, I don't understand. I'm like, oh, it's fine,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
understand some of the things you connect. But that's how I connect to the world, and just to bring that into fitness and to connect life problems and how you overcome things and how you can look at diet or nutrition, or you can look at getting over the hurdles of weight loss. It makes sense when you put it in the prospect of a video game, because that's how we all connect with. That's why we as nerds connect with those stories, because we find a piece of ourselves in those stories. So if I can bring those stories and tie those into how you can, sort of level up your own life and, apply that to pursuing your own pursuits of getting in shape and improving your health,
Yeah.
then I think I have the unique ability to do that as a writer and podcaster. And I guess I've done a really good job at it so far.
Yeah, dude, I love, dude, the writing, man. The writing is what gets me. I'm not gonna say any names because I've read. Let me just put it this way: I've read. I kind of looked into the self development for gamers space, and let me just put it this way: I've seen other people's writing and trying to kind of link the two of. Hey, like let's step it up in all areas, or even just fitness. Let's just take getting better shape, for example, and then kind of connecting that link and like kind of gamifying it. Like I'm thinking of like one for example, and it just always made me cringe because every time they would try to connect the dots, it just seemed forced. But your material, man, is just like I don't know, man. Like I feel like perfect is a. I feel like perfect. Like the perfect culmination is kind of an. I don't know. I feel like it's an overstatement, but like I don't know, man. You just have this way of
Dude,
writing.
you can keep jerking me off right now and sucking on my dick. I'm fine with that. That feels so good right now, dude. I'm not even kidding. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. No, totally. No, recently you had that email that came out, and I don't know if it's just I've been programmed for like clickbaity titles. Then you were like the 5 tips to like fat loss or whatever it was, and I just read through it. I was like, see, this is the shit I like right here. You had like you had the hot sauce, dude. You taught me something that day. I had never heard about that ever before. I was like, this is so cool. But no, dude, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. All right, so I guess people that are tuning in that are overweight and that want to get in shape, let's say they haven't necessarily hit that breaking point yet. And they know that they should get in shape, and it hasn't become a must yet. See, this is the tricky point because I feel like some people that are tuning in are like, oh, you know what? Let me check this out. Like, this might be kind of interesting because I've always like wanted to get into really great shape. But let's say it hasn't hit that breaking point yet. Do you have any advice for people listening to kind of like light that fire under their ass, or maybe even some tips just to kind of get started? Because I don't know about you, but for me, like I'm either go big or go home. Like I'm eating healthy, I'm like going to the gym, or I'm just completely self-destructing,
Yeah.
trying to maintain this, but it's pretty like go big or go home for me.
I
So
think the biggest point, and this is something I try to stress with a lot of my clients, and then one of the first questions I ask anyone who applies for coaching is, "Who is your favorite superhero?"
I like that.
And I would say video game character, but I feel like superhero is a little easier to connect. Because like if your superhero is a video game character, I'm already going to award you like 100,000 awesome points. Um,
Yeah, totally.
but we connect with and I'll use Commander Shepard only because, and no, I haven't had a chance to play Andromeda yet because I'm about to make a big move
Heard it's
in my
pretty
life
awesome.
and can't take my Xbox One with me. I've heard good and bad things. I just, after everyone hated on Mass Effect 3, I'm like, I'm not going to listen to the haters anymore. I'm going to play it and see what I think.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but you connect with a character like Commander Shepard or Captain America. mm, uh, you know, Luke Skywalker, or Harry Potter. You connect with these characters because a piece of those characters are in us, and there's a reason we find ourselves drawn to those characters. The
Definitely.
reason I ask who's your favorite superhero is because I want you to examine and think about, why does your superhero do what they do? What are they fighting for? Because 90% of the time, what they're fighting for, what they believe in, their why, speaks to you. And when it comes to getting in shape and when it comes to taking that first step, it you have to examine your why. You have to think about, why am I doing this? Are you doing it like, listen, as a guy, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the reasons we do things is for women. Like, we do it for girls. Like, fine.
Mm. Yep.
But
Yep.
if that's your why, if your why is because you want to feel like you deserve something, or that you want to feel like you need more confidence in your life, then that's the why you need to go after. If you have a father who died at 40 of a heart attack, and you're like, I don't want to die at 40, your why is because you want to live a long and fruitful life. You want to see more than your dad saw. That's your why.
Yes. That's
So
see. That's actually that's a really good
and the
one.
why is, and the reason we avoid it is because it's often the most painful thing that we ever have to realize. And in the words of Joseph Campbell, the treasure that you seek is in the cave you fear the most. So the dragon is your why. That dragon, it, like, weighs on you. You have to attack that, and you have to go and defeat that, and take it head on before you can ever level up and advance and move on in your life. So I think finding your why and really focusing on that and making that what drives you, as scary and as painful as it may be, it's a lot better 3 months down the road to take that head on than it is to spend another 6 years avoiding it.
Dude, I love that. It's funny that you said that, man, because I actually had that quote as my desktop background of like I had this picture of like this ominous cave, and like the quote, the Joseph Campbell quote was the treasure that you seek is in the cave that you're most afraid to enter. And I literally had it as my desktop background for like probably a few months at least. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, I completely agree. It's super important to start with your why, because that's really kind of like where like all action comes from. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like at least the start, because at least from experience, I have gotten super motivated, like super 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 motivated, like through a breaking point, and then action is just effortless. But then other times I'll get like really motivated, and then like my motivation sometimes wanes, and hopefully I've built up enough momentum so that like if shit hits the fan in my life at some point, um, I've built up enough momentum where like I can't miss a day at the gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a point where like it becomes an absolute must, and it's a burning desire to the point where like it's going to happen no matter what. And then there's the other. I feel like there's the other side where like you really want it, but not like at the max level. You know what I mean? And like, and you can chime in on this if you want, but building that momentum, I think, is like pretty critical because quick example in my life, I had some shit go down recently, and I was feeling super unmotivated to just kind of continue keeping the ball rolling with like my
Yeah.
fitness and business stuff. Um, but I had already had so much momentum that I was like, I can't not do it, even if this means I'm going to bed
Right.
at 2 in the morning. So I feel
Yeah.
like momentum will definitely helps, and I think this is why people say that after the 21-day mark, like you're
Oh, dude.
yeah. I'll let
Dude,
I'll let you
I
chime in.
just I just had a client, and this is 99%. Like, there's a 1%, and it's small, but 99% of the clients I have, week they're feeling great. They enter the second week, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm fucking life in the ass, man. I'm ruling it. Here we go." And then like 16, maybe if they get lucky enough, day 20, all of a sudden life is like, watch this, and throws a fucking wrench right in all your plans. And shit, dude, I've seen like grandparents die. I've had clients who like had financial things. I had clients who had like car accidents, like crazy shit happen. On like right around between day 15 and like day 20. And what it is that's life. That's your first test. You know, it's that first, you've accepted the call to action. And it's like Luke, when he first accepts the call to action to go with Obi-Wan, his first test is, oh shit, we have to escape Mos Eisley. Like, that's his real first test.
Yeah, definitely.
Is getting out alive. And your first test is going to happen. And what you do in that first test will dictate whether you succeed. Because if you look at a New Year's resolution, and by the 21st day, I mean, in January, at least 25% of people have already given up on
it's so sad, dude.
Because life throws wrenches at you. And whether you continue on or you give up, that like, and whatever you start, it could be a relationship. How many times have you gotten into a relationship and like 2 or 3 weeks in, you're like, oh man, I don't know. It was really good at first, and now you're questioning it. Happens with fitness, happens with business, even like cycles of business. Like you start something new and you're starting to question like 2 weeks in. Happens with everything. But you're right. You got to build that momentum, and you just got to give life a giant middle finger and go, no, you know what, life? I'm going to keep doing my thing, and you can kiss my ass.
Dude, I love it, man. Yeah, and it's funny because if you don't take on that strong, deep insight that life will fucking throw you challenges, and it's not because somebody's out to get you or you have bad luck. It's not that at all. It's literally you got to look at it like everything is happening for a reason, and it's for your own growth. And you know, call it a cloud that rains on your parade. But like, you notice that when you start to build momentum and you start to succeed, like no matter what, life is going to throw you wrenches. Like there's going to be challenges. Life will explicitly throw you these challenges to test your commitment.
Time you get through that first little test, you get through that first little like intro, set your character up, and it's like all of a sudden, oh fuck, there's a dragon. I have to fight a dragon. And then you get through the dragon, and then it's like, oh, I have all these other things that I can do. And then you constantly have tests along the way, and eventually you level up enough and you get strong enough that those tests aren't that difficult.
Yeah, 100%.
But it takes time. It's all a game. You just got to keep grinding. You got to keep
the grind on.
I'm going to do a Facebook Live later today, and I was thinking about this because someone asked me about motivation, and I'm going to start shooting a bit more video. Got to use those theater skills.
Exactly.
But I'm going to shoot some more video this year, and I want to do one on motivation because it's so hard to write about motivation because you really just want to be like, listen, here's the thing. You just got to take the step and go. You just got to go.
Yeah.
There's this great scene in South Park when they did the World of Warcraft episode where like the only way for the boys to level up is to kill boars in the woods. The most boring thing you can do is to just kill boars in the woods.
Yeah, kill 30 boars.
Sometimes life and in fitness, like, and with your goals, like you got to do the same shit over and over and over again, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I leveled up and I'm really awesome now.
Yeah.
But, you know, you boar in the woods, man. Got to kill boar in the woods.
Yeah, so you just have to do the day-to-day steps, even if they're like baby steps. You know, like you just have to grind. And it's the most important thing I've learned is that it's your persistence through the challenges and like the crazy side quests that life will like throw you on to derail you. And so not only is it the persistence, but it's that commitment. Because once you commit to it and you just start and you do it, it's building the habit really, and just doing it day by day. I feel like that's at least what has really helped me. Like I'm currently doing a new workout program right now. It's Insanity 30 Max. I don't know. I used to do Insanity back in the day, and I ended up losing like 35 pounds or so. So
nice, dude.
I'm a pretty big advocate of the workout programs because I had wrist surgery, so that's helped me because it's basically like a plan that's already laid out for me. There's no excuse. Like I don't need a gym membership, and all I need is my laptop and some space and the mental willpower to just do it. So like for me, it's my lazy man's way out. I just take my laptop and go crank that out in the back room, and the rest of the day just comes down to eating right, you know.
Yeah.
But all right, Robbie, let me just touch on this real quick. What do you think, from your experience, is the fastest way to cut fat?
Yeah, the fastest way to cut fat, the only way to cut fat is the calorie deficit. There are, and the email you referenced earlier was 5 insanely powerful fat loss power-ups.
Yes.
You can use like cinnamon, like capsaicin, aka hot sauce, and protein, more protein, and I can go into that later.
Totally.
Helps as well. Like, all those things help, but if you're not in a calorie deficit, it doesn't matter. Those power-ups aren't going to work. It's like, hey, you already have a power-up in Mario, but if you get another power-up, it doesn't, like if you have the star, it doesn't do anything. Like, it doesn't help. Need to be in a calorie deficit. So that's the holy grail of fat loss. You have to eat. You have to eat less, or you have to burn more calories than you consume. So you consume more calories than you burn, you're going to add fat. Look at it in the sense of sort of money as well. If you spend more money than you have, you're going to go in debt.
Yep.
Debt you have, and more money you have, you have But that's really it. That's the fastest way to burn fat. You can take the easiest way to figure out how many calories you should eat a day is for guys, take the number, it's a good starting point. Take the number 10 and take your weight, multiply it by 10, and use that as your starting calories.
Huh.
For women, now for guys, it works really well, sort of no matter your body weight. For women who might be over like 200 pounds, use like 8 to 9, and that's going to get you right around like 16 to 1800, depending on your weight. And that's a great place to be for women. For most guys that are like average height, which is like what, 5'9", so like 5'9", $180, like 2200 calories is sort of a good starting point. But this is just a starting point.
Right, totally.
And yeah. So you could, if you burn a lot more energy in the day because you're very active, your calories might need to go up a little bit. If you are very sedentary and sit at a desk all day and make a living as a gamer or a computer programmer, you're going to burn less calories. So you can go a little lower, and then from there, take your body weight and eat 1 gram per pound of body weight in protein. And then the first question I ask, or second question I ask all my new clients is bagels or bacon. And then however you answer that, all right, if you like bacon more, then keep your fats a little higher. If you like bagels more, keep your carbs a little higher so that you eat the foods that you enjoy. And as long as you stay at that total calorie number, or even just 100 or so below it.
Yep.
And you're going to see progress. You're going to see great progress in a month. But there's no quick fat loss, answer. It's all it's a marathon, not a sprint.
So really what I'm hearing is that you really have to consume less than you're burning. Like and I think that is the thing for me. And I don't know if anybody else can relate with this, but like sometimes I'll stay up late and my willpower, I sometimes let myself get weak. And it's a bullshit excuse, but I do. And then, like, I will eat a copious amount of food. And that's, I think, the biggest thing that's slowing me back. So really, what I'm hearing, though, is that you do have to eat less food You have to like portion control really, and
Yeah.
and thinking back to when I had lost a bunch of weight, what I ended up doing, Robbie, it's really funny because like I always knew I could eat a lot. So what I started doing when I was like, I'm serious, I'm gonna lose all this weight, I would take the food that I was about to eat, right? So like whether I was at my mom's place or wherever, I would take the amount of food that the restaurant gave me or whatever the normal portion, the American portion was wherever I was. And to train my stomach to basically get smaller, I would literally take half of it and put it aside. Put it aside for later and only eat that half. And then like a few hours later, as I would get more hungry, then I would eat that because I had heard, I don't know how true this is, but if you kind of space out your meals throughout the day and eat smaller portions, it keeps your metabolism going, kind of like adding like a few logs to a fire.
That's kind of a fitness myth that is
I thought so.
Really needs, yeah, that really needs to die. Because here's the thing: when you're asleep, your body is still like metabolizing things; it's still working. But like your body it's on a 24-hour clock.
Right. Totally.
It doesn't matter how much you eat throughout the day. Now, if you are a bodybuilder, yes, there are ways to hack the body and get. There are certain things, but for 99% of the population, meal timing isn't really a huge deal. Like for athletes and bodybuilders, probably, but for the general population, no. Two things you can do is you can have the square 3 meals a day and don't have any snacks. Don't drink your calories either. Or you can do something like intermittent fasting, which I've done before, usually when I'm trying to lose fat. And that's where you basically just restrict the hours that you eat. So a lot of guys will do something like they eat from 12 noon until 8 p.m. And then they don't eat anything else after 8 p.m. until 12 noon the next day. And there's a lot of health benefits to intermittent fasting. And just fasting in general, which is kind of crazy because when you do like, when you think about the old school religions that talked about fasting and sort of now today where food is everywhere and you're like, and you look into it and you're like, oh wait, I guess they kind of had a point to fasting. There's some health benefits to it. But there are some great health benefits to doing intermittent fasting, but it's not for everyone. It's something to experiment, try it for a little while and see.
Right. I think we're gonna try that.
I kind of consider it sort of. Yeah, so you basically just don't eat until noon, and then at noon just have a big meal, and at dinner have a big meal. Have 2, maybe 3 meals, like maybe a post-workout meal or a snack after a workout. But have like 2 big meals, and you can have just a big portion of like protein and just as much salad and like veggies as you want.
Dude, veggies where it's
and that's
at.
Yeah.
Dude, that's thanks for debunking that for me, man. So I think originally back in the day, I think what was happening was I was also eating a lot slower. And I think eating that smaller portion. What's that?
Slowing down is huge.
Oh yeah, man. Because you get full faster, and I think that's the key. Because I feel like thinking back now, I would eat like smaller portions, but then I would get full, and then I wouldn't necessarily be hungry later. You know what I mean? So I think. Just thinking about that, I think I think what you said is 100% true. Just eat less than you're burning, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so we have a question from Jarves9. What are Robbie's thoughts on large meals, less times, versus small meals, more times, same calories?
We sort of went over that sort of with intermittent fasting. In the end, it all comes down to energy balance. So it's the calories you take in. So if you like eating smaller meals and you stay within your calories for the day, awesome. If you prefer having big meals and you would rather skip breakfast and have a big lunch and a big dinner and you stay within your calories. So let's say just for S and G's, if you had 2,000 calories to eat a day and you had 1,000 at lunch and 1,000 at dinner, and you felt full, and you were fine for skipping breakfast, do that. If you need smaller meals, if you break up 1,000 calories by 3, like you did 3 meals or even 4 meals, you're looking at like 250 calories, which, when you think about it, is kind of small. Like that's like 3/4 a cup of oats. and like maybe some egg whites, so it's not a lot. So it really just depends on what you enjoy to do. What I do with my clients is I give them a calorie goal, protein numbers to hit, and then we work on one, hitting that protein number at first, and then work on filling in fats and carbs with whatever they enjoy the most.
I like that.
But it really just comes down to what is best for you, what works best for you. A lot of people can't fit in 5 or 6 meals a day because work is just it's too stressful. They have too much going on, and skipping breakfast, saves people time in the morning. They would prefer just to grab a cup of coffee and get out, and then they can just drink coffee, throughout the morning. Caffeine has hunger blunting effects. So it's good to drink that, but experiment with it and see what you enjoy. I do when I'm dieting, which means I'm trying to lose fat and not bulk up during the winter. I enjoy having pills because I do like my little post-workout shake. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. I like my post-workout shake, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I do too, dude, because it's kind of like drinking like a shake from when you were a kid, but a lot healthier.
Yeah. So it really just it's what you prefer. If 3 meals makes you feel great, do it. If you like big heavy meals, then eat those big heavy meals. As long as you stay your calories, you're good.
Right. So I happen to know Jar's 9, and he has an extremely fast metabolism, and I know that like he's gone through like a bulking phase before, but the amount of food that he was eating was ridiculous, and he was going to the gym a lot. So I'm just trying to think, Josh, what are you trying to accomplish right now? Feel free to type that whenever. But no, dude, I like that. I actually really like that answer because you can kind of like customize what you like as long as you're hitting your calorie intake and the protein. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the protein is key because as in that email that you read that goes out to my newsletter, protein has like 20 to 30% of the protein you eat a day actually has to be converted to use as fuel. So your body actually gets a boost in calorie burnage by having more protein. So that's why everyone is like, eat more protein, eat more protein, eat more protein, because it helps you lose more fat because it gives you a calorie in excess, calorie burn. Plus, it takes a long time for your body to break it down, so you feel fuller longer, and you're not like, oh, I'm going to go get some potato chips. 30 minutes later, eating more chips.
That's the biggest thing, man. And dude, I don't know if you saw this, but I watched this documentary, and I thought this was like the coolest thing, man. But basically, I want to say it was Forks Over Knives, or it was Cowspiracy. I think it was Forks Over Knives. And basically what it said was that your stomach has sensors inside of it and sensors on the outside. Now, the ones on the outside will kind of tell you how full you are physically, like how physically full your stomach stretch-wise is. And the sensors on the inside of your stomach will tell you how nutritionally full you are. So, it's because of those sensors on the inside, it's the reason why we can eat fucking pounds and pounds of garbage. Because, like, we can eat all this, like, nutrition-less food and still be fucking starving. Like, you can eat, like, 6, like, Big Macs at McDonald's and still be good to go. If anything, you're pushing your physical stomach limit.
So basically what they're referring to in a roundabout way is food volume, so the volume that food has. So the same amount of calories, and I'm just going to use broccoli just because it's the first vegetable that pops in my mind, so anyone who hates broccoli, substitute broccoli with whatever like veggie you enjoy, because most of them would be a lot. So like 100 calories of broccoli is a lot of broccoli versus 100 calories of potato chips. And you look at 100 calories of potato chips, that's not going to take up much room in your stomach. But 100 calories of broccoli will. So you do slow down the digestion and you feel a lot fuller.
Yeah.
And that's why, that's the real key that I would say when people say, oh, but I'm a clean eater and I only eat whole foods. Well, yeah, because whole foods are going to fill you up because they're larger. There's more volume to them than
That makes a lot of
you
sense.
know, a pint of Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Like
They're so dangerous too.
I feel like it's too early in the day for me to like start salivating over Ben and Jerry's. So like immediately my productive logical brain's like, ew, Ben and Jerry's. But fast forward like 9 hours from now, I'm gonna be like, oh, I could fucking eat 3 tubs of that shit. Okay, so Jars9 says, I was just curious, but yeah, I'm about 130 pounds, and I was eating 4,000 calories to get to 150 pounds. Um, yeah, so, yeah, he just wanted to know. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I happen to know that he needs to eat a lot of food to kind of like put on that muscle mass. Which is, I don't know, it's crazy to me that people have different metabolisms. Me personally, I definitely have a lot slower. I have a less effective metabolism than that. So like I'm trying to do ice showers. I'm trying to put like an ice pack on my neck before I go to bed.
No. See, that's an article I've not written. Like the 5 fat loss things that I refuse to do. I am not taking a cold shower. I'm not doing it.
Dude, alright, so the only reason why I started doing the cold showers was because of Wim Hof, dude. I was like, this guy is a pimp.
Yeah, he's okay. He has some interesting things just because it's like, all right, what kind of weird Jedi Sith mind tricks are you using? I want to know these things. Um,
Dude, I'm really curious on your thoughts on Wim Hof right now. I'm like, I'm waiting.
See, the thing is I don't know much about it. I only know from what I heard on the Tim Ferriss podcast when he was interviewed. It's interesting because studies that like and experiments that the CIA and government agencies have done with like mind like hypnotism before, where like people would not feel cold.
Right.
So it's like it's possible in your mind. So how do you tap into that? Which essentially is what I think he's trying to do.
Exactly.
And a lot of it, you know, is he has breathing. Breath is the thing about breath, and this comes from my acting background, is breath is very important to emotion and making your body feel, because if you restrict oxygen, your body's going to feel
stressed
tense,
out. Yep.
And it's going to stressed out, and that's why a lot of times, if you sit hunched over at a desk all day, you might feel more anxious than most people, because your chest is caved in and those muscles are weak and not able to expand and give you all the oxygen you can get. So you always feel tight and congested. And if you just hunch your shoulders over right now and do that and just breathe, to feel those feelings of anxiety coming in, and you can feel that. So breath is very important. And I think that's the basis of Wim Hof is controlling your breath. But I haven't looked into it much more than that.
Yeah, no. Everywhere across the board, breath is like this superpower that we have, in my opinion. I think breath is like, dude, I mean, I've just learned things about the breath that blew my mind. Like, you look into fitness, breathing helps a shit ton. You look into having attractive body language, breath will help with slowing your body down and feeling more confident and feeling more relaxed. So you can look at that in like the dating realm as well. You can look into breath in meditation and on the spiritual side of things. And breath is the anchor of awareness. Breath is like so critical. I feel like anybody that's in like any type of self-actualization knows that breath is like a superpower. But I remember reading about I remember reading about the breath, and I noticed that I used to breathe really shallow, and I started slowing my breathing down and just like taking a lot deeper breaths, and that helped me. That helped me a lot. But yeah, dude. So basically, Wim Hof stuff, I think is mostly focused on the breath and belief, like having like faith that like you're gonna be okay. And I think it is like mind placebo training. But there's also, I guess there is some, because he is teaching other people how to do what he's doing. So I think I had read somewhere that the guy that finally ran the 4-minute mile. After he did it, other people believed that they could do it, and then literally within the next year, like 7 more people did it. So like I really think it comes down to belief, and I really think that's kind of like a topic for another day of like training your mind to like believe certain things. You know what I mean? But I think, go ahead.
The thoughts you manifest basically become what happened to you or what happens to you. And everyone's going to face that. I deal with it every single day. And it's something I write about a lot, doubt and fear.
Yep.
Because, it is something we constantly struggle with, which is so interesting because, in a game that you play, like you are the hero and you're like, no, I can totally take down this guy. And everyone else in the world around you is like, no, you're only home. We can't do it. And yeah, those are the little voices that constantly live in our heads as well. It's telling those voices to shut the fuck up. We're going to go conquer the world.
Dude, those voices are like life's challenges. I feel like those voices, those demons in the head, are those challenges that life throws at you. Because I will never forget. This was one of the most powerful things I've ever heard from one of my mentors. And he basically said, he was like, your brain will trick you. Your brain does not give a shit about your success at all. It doesn't care about your dreams or your goals. Your brain will trick, because all your brain really cares about is to like reproduce, protect you from pain. So your brain will literally trick you until you can get it on your team. So not only do you have like people trying to box you into the reality that they know so that they feel comfortable around you. So not only do you have the external forces against you, and then you have life dumping shit on you randomly, like grandparents dying, but you also have your brain at times that will literally try to hold you back and sabotage you, which is crazy to me. So like I feel like, go ahead.
A lot of that is just because, so we are an animal, something that many humans try and not. We have animal tendencies. We may be the king of the animal kingdom. We may have brains that have allowed us to build skyscrapers and defeat disease or some disease. But we still have an animal brain inside of us. And that animal brain doesn't like change. We want homeostasis. Our bodies do not want to break out of homeostasis. So it will do whatever it can, which is why, fat loss is difficult because your body doesn't want to do it. It doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I think that's the thing. That's the thing, because I think initially, once you like force yourself to just start building that momentum, your body and brain will try to hold you at that equilibrium. It will try to hold you at the coding that it knows already. So yeah, man, I think that's the trickiest part. Is just kind of like getting going. I know it sounds so cliche, but I really do think that's because whatever's outside of your comfort zone, whatever you currently want, right? Whatever you currently want, you don't have. Duh. So whatever you currently want is outside of your comfort zone. Always. Right. Always. It's right. You always have to kind of go against that discomfort. I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know you know this. I'm kind of just like ranting right now. Okay, so Jars has a question for you. Robbie's thoughts on saturated and trans fats. Also, Boomy, welcome to the stream, dude. Yeah, I'm rocking the glasses today. So Robbie's thoughts on saturated and trans fats.
So obviously there was a bit. I mean, trans fats are bad. They're, and I haven't read too far into like the real in-depth science, but basically, it was the food industry breaking down like hydrogenated fats to like make things sit on the shelves longer. And oops, we found out it was really bad for you. So the government was like, "Yeah, you need to not use this stuff." Trans fats are now basically out of most of the foods. There might be some Twinkies sitting around on someone's shelf that might still have some, because those things are like cockroaches. They'll survive a nuclear blast.
Yep.
those are basically out of the diet or out of the food supply. Saturated fat. So saturated fat is a fat. It's not necessarily bad for you. You know, too much of it is bad. But again, it comes down to calorie balance. So if you have too many carbs, you're going to get fat. If you have too many fats, you're going to get fat. But fats, especially things like saturated fat, a lot of our hormones, especially testosterone and good cholesterol, are made off of fats. Testosterone is really made off of a combination of fat and cholesterol. And going outside, your body will actually make cholesterol from absorbing sunlight. And to get outside, even if you're a pale-ass ginger like myself, back inside, or my body will explode in flame. The saturated fats they're not necessarily bad. If you look at things like olive oil and fats on like real good cuts of meat, they tend to be high in saturated fats. But again, it comes down to total calorie balance. I've seen guys, who have eaten, foods high in saturated fats, but have stayed at their calorie balance, and that their triglyceride levels have been fine. Their health has been fine. They've had their blood work. I mean, it comes down to exercise and keeping your calories where they need to be, and your diet, as healthy as possible. But don't be afraid of saturated fats. Don't go overboard and try and eat like 150 grams of it a day, but a little bit's not going to hurt you. It can actually be beneficial for you.
And just to clarify, saturated fats are like olive oil?
So because I want to make sure that I give you exactly things that have it in there. So olive oil does have some in there, but things like, beef fat, pork, fatty cuts of pork, cheese will have a little bit, butter, and fatty beef, like the good beef. I mean, we're talking like the ribeye, like the T-bones, lamb as well. And just those sort of things that are fairly high. But they're not consuming too much of them, yes, bad for you. But completely, utterly cutting them out, I've seen the data from scientists who study all this all the time and what they follow, and eating a healthy diet of lean meats and plenty of vegetables and the occasional saturated fat.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I totally get that. Jars, I know you get another question, but I actually had a question for Robbie myself. I had heard, I know you were talking about like sunlight a little bit and vitamin D, but I had basically heard that if you go out into the sun and that's actually really good for you. It actually helps synthesize the nutrients in your body. That vitamin D from the sun. You're going to
be okay. It does. So your body can produce in many places if you get out in the sun enough, and we're talking like you need like 70% of your body catching sunlight. You can produce enough vitamin D, even in northern climates like old Boston, Baston.
Over
you can produce enough vitamin D in the summer that can provide enough vitamin D throughout the winter, but there's a lot of really great research coming out on vitamin D and sort of supplementing with it and taking it, and how it might actually, your body might treat it more like a hormone than it does a vitamin.
Interesting. Huh.
So you'll see, that's why you'll see a lot of supplements, especially fish oil, in places like Iceland and like Greenland and like real northern Iceland, Scandinavian climates, because they don't get enough sun in the winter, so they need those things to keep them sane.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, it was weird. I took on a really hippie approach to fitness back when I was losing weight, and it gave me enough awareness to realize what I was putting in my body. So I used to, my secret acronym was WASET. Would a samurai eat this? And it helped me. It helped me a lot, actually. So I would be like, ooh, cookie, and I would grab it, and I literally as my mouth is salivating, I'd be like, would a samurai eat this? And then I would just trash it immediately. So it was eating fish, meats, veggies, fruits, nuts, seeds, and water all day, and it was like fun because I was like, I'm a fucking samurai. And I didn't get that. I'm not coining that myself. I actually got this from this guy, Noah Hammond, and I loved it because it was just such a simple, fun way of looking at food and creating that sense of awareness before you shove something in your face. And it was really simple for me because I was just like, veggies, yes, meat, yes. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that.
Cool, man. All right, so Jars wants to know what your thoughts on creatine are. I know creatine can be a little controversial, but yeah, man, I'll let you take it away.
So have on supplements, and I mean any supplements. The best resource for you to go to is examine.com.
I'm going to type that in.
They are the kings of going through giving you exactly the data you need to know. Creatine is safe.
Creatine safe?
Creatine is in any meat you eat has creatine in it. Creatine, especially if you're active, and if you happen to be a vegan, you actually kind of need to supplement with creatine because you're not getting it in your body. But it's safe to consume. Examine goes over that, unless of course you have sort of some kidney disorder, and you should check with your doctor if you have a kidney disorder before taking it. But for 99% of the population, totally safe to take and supplement with. Add it in, pre, post workout, or in the morning. You can put it in your coffee as well. There's some benefits to coffee and caffeine combined with creatine as well.
Really?
But you also get it in meat that you eat, and it actually has cognitive benefits as well.
Huh.
It is good to supplement with and take 5. I think it's like a teaspoon a day. Is like 5 grams is really all you need. No, it helps you retain. It helps you retain muscle mass. It helps your muscles look fuller when you are dieting.
What was the amount, Robbie? I'm just gonna type that into the chat so everybody knows.
5 grams. I think that's the standard serving size is like 5 grams.
Cool. Cool.
Chicken and beef and pork, you're going to get even a little bit more. So
awesome, man. How are we doing for time on your end?
We got a couple more minutes. I gotta go make some lunch and get some more writing done. But we can do about another 10 minutes.
All right, cool, awesome, man. Okay, so I totally was gonna ask you something. My question just slipped away. Hate when that happens. Okay, so I think this might be helpful for some people because I know usually in the winter is bulk time, and bulk season's always fun. I know my brother loves it. My brother was basically a midget his whole life. Like, literally didn't hit puberty until, like, end of high school. Like, he was a freak of nature. And then all of a sudden he got huge and was, like, going to the gym a lot and, like, sucking down God knows what. But he got big. He got really big. And basically, I know, like, he always loved bulking because, like, he could basically eat, but it seemed like a ton of food, like, whatever he wanted. And, like, I know my friend Ty, jacked, literally the most ripped friend I have, Ty McGaffigan. He is so jacked. And I see him once in a while take pictures of, like, him with a donut. But I know that's not the whole story. Because, like, I know behind the scenes he's eating fucking salmon and asparagus. I'm pretty sure I've, like, seen pictures of that. But, like, once in a while, like, you just be like, all right, time for my post-workout donut. But yeah, man. So what are your thoughts on, like, bulk season? Like, what's typically pretty good to be doing during bulk time without doing it the wrong way, without getting fat?
There are a few strategies for that. First and foremost, one of the first things I will tell anyone is if you are 20%, actually, really, if you're about 17%. If you're 17% body fat or higher, you've got to lose the body fat first. Number one reason is it helps improve insulin sensitivity so that when you do start bulking and you start eating more, it's going to shuttle all those nutrients in for muscle growth and limit the amount of fat that you gain. So if you're 20% body fat, don't bulk. Cut down, get lean, get down to like 12%, maybe 10%, and then bulk up, because all those extra nutrients are going to go towards building muscle and not being stored as fat. You got to sort of reset the body's insulin levels. When it comes to bulking, though, in the winter, I prefer to do like a high carb bulk, because I'm usually working out like depending on whose program I'm on. And I keep my fats low. And the reason for that is that when you eat, a high fat food, your body doesn't have to convert those molecules to fat because it's already a fat. Like, it doesn't have to do the work. So if you're taking excess calories, and again, I mentioned this, that if you burn more than you eat, you're going to lose fat. If you eat more than you burn, you're going to gain fat. And you can gain fat from protein and carbs. It's a little more difficult for both of those than fat. But again, your body will store excess fat as fat because, it doesn't have to convert anything. It just goes right in. So I keep my fats pretty low and keep my carbs high because I want that extra energy. I want that extra muscle repairing. Carbs are also... So what that means is basically your body won't like break down muscle for extra protein to repair things or fuel things. So you can actually get by with like 0.82 grams per pound of body weight when it comes to bulking. Like, they used to say eat 2 grams. And I'm like, listen, bro, if you're trying to eat 300 grams of protein, you're going to shit for days. You're never coming off the commode. Your digestion is going to be awful and you're going to hate your life. Like, you don't have to do that. But if you increase the carbs, it'll keep your body from going after, any muscle in case you don't happen to get all your calories that day. And it will go into fueling those muscles and repairing and getting you ready for the next day of workouts. But really, for most people on a bulk, you can take your weight and multiply by. So if you're, again, let me pull my calculator out right here beside me. If you're 200 pounds, you're saying 200 times 15, you're at like 3,000 calories. So that's where you can sort of start. That's if you're going to be a bit more sedentary. If you're a trash man, you might have to bump it up to like 18 times your body weight. Find those calories, eat a little bit more carbs, enjoy that, keep your protein right around 0.82 to 1 gram per pound of body weight, and then just fill the rest in with fats. That's what I enjoy to do on my bulk season because I get to eat the bagels, I get to eat more rice and pasta and Ben & Jerry's Froyo Cherry Garcia.
Dude, I love it.
But that's on the diet side. On the lifting side, just focus on you're going to lift more moderate weight and higher volume. So you might be doing 4 sets of 12, sets of 8. So your reps are going to be like 48 or above. And then you might train a body part, 2 times a week. You might train it 3 times a week, depending on what your goal is.
Cool. You guys get that? That makes sense. That's awesome, man. And dude, one last thing. Actually, I had 2 things that came to my mind at the same time. Is there anything else that you think somebody who's like super overweight, they want to get in shape right now, besides the why? Besides like really focusing on the why, is there anything is there anything that's coming up for you that you could give advice for somebody who like wants to like kind of get in shape but doesn't really know how to get started? Because at the end of this, I want to dump like all your like I want to throw your website here so all my people can check it out for sure, man. Because like as far as getting started, that could be the trickiest part. So maybe just some like last words of advice to get started, and then anything that my guys should check out for sure, because I definitely love that book. I love your podcast. I haven't seen your podcast in a while, but no, dude, I definitely want to like throw that stuff and get you exposed, because I think a lot of people that tune into my stream resonate with you, man, because I mean I do. Anyway, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. I would say if you want to start, the first thing to do is just start, and start with the easiest thing you can do. When you're playing, and I'm going to use Skyrim just because it's the first game that popped in my head.
Yeah.
When you start playing Skyrim, like, you're not really fighting dragons. You're not, going out and fighting the most difficult bosses in the world. You're doing the simplest things. And what are the most simple things? Your first quest is to walk to a town. So walk. Walking is literally like the easiest thing you can do. And just get more active. Just start walking. Grab a podcast. You can check mine out or check out others as well. That there are a ton out there. Find a podcast that's 45 minutes and just walk and listen to the whole podcast. Or put on your favorite album and just walk and listen to that whole album. If you live in a big city, one of the things I tell my clients who live in big cities, Skyrim Day. And that's basically where you just go and explore. Things you've never thought about exploring. Go and check it out. I mean, don't go to an unsafe side of town if you know there's an unsafe side of town.
Hashtag Pokemon Go.
Yeah, dude, Pokemon Go, tons of people got in shape last summer and lost weight because they just started playing Pokemon Go. So find something, that you can enjoy, that you enjoy to do and enjoy listening to, and use that. So walking is the easiest thing you can do, and it's probably the most beneficial at first. And then you can sort of get into everything else.
Definitely.
And just keep an eye on what you're eating. Again, increase the amount of veggies and lean proteins that you eat. And that's going to help along the way. But really, the first step is just taking that step. Take that step. And if walking is the easiest thing you can do, start with walking and level up and challenge yourself every other step of the way. And don't try to go big at first. Start small, get those little wins, get that XP, level up, and keep going.
Hell yeah, man. You heard it here first, boys and girls. Robbie Farlow, 2017.
That's right.
Cool, man. Are there any more questions? Because I think we're about to wrap this up. Robbie, if you want to link me some stuff that you think these guys should check out, I will post this in the chat, and then what I'll do is I will link that stuff in the YouTube video as well. So I don't know if there's anything.
Yeah.
Feel free to just you can just link it in the Discord channel if you want.
Okay. I will put up the main website right now. You can just there I have the 7 Principles of Fat Loss, and you can pick that up for free. And it's not the ebook that you had before. That's an old one, and I'm reworking on some material from that.
Gotcha.
But you can go there and you can check out. You can grab that and grab
Sweet.
Podcast, and any questions you have as well. Please feel free to reach out to me, sidequestfitness@gmail.com. Facebook is just SideQuest Fitness, or Facebook/SideQuest Fitness. Instagram and Twitter, SideQuest FM. So feel free to reach out, ask me anything maybe you didn't get to ask here. I'm more than willing to help and guide you on your quest as well. So
epic, dude. Epic. All right, dude. Thanks for coming on, Robbie. On a less serious note, have you played the new Zelda game? What are your thoughts on that game so far? If you haven't played it, it's cool.
I haven't played it because I don't have a Wii, so I don't have a Wii U.
Damn it!
Because here's the thing. So here's the thing. I made a choice over the last 2 years to go all in on this business and really help as many people as possible. My goal ultimately is to help 100,000 men and women. And I like 50-50 on my clients now, but I sort of resonate a lot with men as well. But it's to help 100,000 men and women, especially nerds, geeks, whoever they may be, but men and women, achieve their fat loss goals and discover the superhero strength that they have inside and out. So I've not bought a lot of games over the last few years just because I've put everything into the business, and I haven't really bought a new system either. And my wife would kill me if I bought a Switch, even though I was like, "But baby, you can take it on the road and play it like a Game Boy. It's everything I've ever wanted."
Yeah.
I have not had a chance to play it, but I've had a couple clients just tell me it's so good.
Yeah.
And hopefully soon we'll see.
Yeah, man. When the time comes, that you'll end up playing it at some point. But no, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man. That's self control. That's what that is. I respect that. I definitely respect that. Yeah, honestly, when it first came out, it basically looked like Zelda's take on Skyrim. It was kind of like Zelda meets Skyrim. That's kind of.
I like
Yep, go ahead.
Zelda. I really do. I think an open world Zelda is what we need. And I think next, what we need is maybe he makes the last Zelda game. And the last Zelda game needs no. And this is what I would want. I want the last Zelda game to be like an old Link, like an old
Rocky
finish the
7.
timelines. Yeah, like a Balboa. Like I want an old Link who comes back and has to, save the universe or whatever. Really wrap it up, bring all the timelines together, and maybe old Link has to use the ocarina to go back and get all the other Links. And I don't know. I just think there'd be something really cool in that.
That would be pretty dope. That would be pretty dope. Yeah. The last Zelda game of all time. Skyward Sword actually did a pretty decent job at kind of tying some of the loose ends, which I was pretty happy with. That game was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you play that game, Skyward Sword?
Because again, didn't have a.
Oh, true. You needed it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I love Nintendo, but they
don't have enough stuff. They don't have enough for you to want to get the system. It's just one title.
They didn't really care about the hardcore gamers with the Wii after your grandparents bought a Wii. They're like, grandparents, let's market to grandparents. No, they're only doing it because it's a fad. And then the Wii U was the Switch is what the Wii U should have been, but I feel like they basically only fucked us with half their dick when they should have been no, I'm gonna fuck you with my whole dick. And basically that's what the Wii U was. We just got half of awesomeness.
100%.
Because it was there, they had it with a pad, and that's exactly what they should have done, but they didn't.
It's definitely what it could have been. I definitely agree. Yeah. And this is the thing. I don't have a Switch because I have a Wii U. So when you have a Wii U, why the fuck would you get a Switch? It just doesn't make sense because it's kind of it's what the Wii U should have been. So I'm not gonna dump money on Nintendo to get the Switch when I already have the gamepad. I'm kind of just tethered to the console. You know what I mean? So
and I think honestly, what they should have done is been this is the Wii U and the 3DS, or maybe not the 3D part, but one. This is all the systems you could ever want that you can hold in your hand and take on the road. And it's hey, Microsoft and Sony, fuck off, we win. They literally could have done fine, play Halo all you want, but the fact that I could play Link to the Past, the greatest Zelda game ever, on my Switch while I'm on the subway in New York City, that would be awesome. Oh wait, I can play Mario whenever I want? Cool. I can play Star Tropics? Done. I can play Gunstar Heroes? Awesome.
Dude, 100%.
All on one console? Get the fuck out. Nintendo wins. Game over. Drop the mic. I'm out.
Dude, I see. That's the thing. I think the Switch has the capability to be the best Nintendo system in the history of systems, because it can literally be a console and a Game Boy, and you can play all of the games that have ever come out ever. You know what I mean? If there was a way that you could do a proof of purchase for games that you already had and transfer that somehow to the current system, that would be so dope, right? I mean, unless they did a remake or something, you know what I mean? But I definitely think it has the capability to be the best system. But dude, Robbie, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Dude, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, dude, it was a blast. I feel like you dropped a lot of gold nuggets, and I feel like I'm hoping people will. Oh, Josh actually just started hosting us now, but we're wrapping this up. He just started hosting the stream. But yeah, man, we'll definitely be in touch, because I love seeing what you're up to. I remember you were doing the Taco Tuesdays, and
I was. I lost my creativity on taco recipes.
Nah, you're good.
I've got some video. It'll come back soon. I got new videos I'm working on. And ideas for things. I've got a funny little deadlift one I'm gonna shoot soon. It could be a little ridiculous. So
nice, dude. Keep me posted on that. I want to check that out. Yeah, I like seeing what you're up to, dude. And honestly, I'm down to do this again at some point in the future, like fucking chapter 2, because like this is literally this like these are gamers, man, and I feel like this was just awesome. Because what ended up happening was I had a dating coach come on, and he was like working for this really huge company, and like it was like pretty extreme. He had some really extreme views that were so out of the current paradigms of a lot of gamers that it was kind of like, whoa, you know what I mean? But I feel like, like you know what I'm saying. But I feel like this is really solid. But yeah, I mean, we'll be in touch. I mean, I got your Snapchat, so
yeah, dude. And we're friends on Facebook now too. So hit me up.
We're Facebook official. OMG.
It's official. See, dick pics are just moments away, man.
They're just right around the corner.
It's getting serious. Right around the corner.
Word. All right, Robbie. Awesome, man. Thanks again. And I'll shoot you. I'll message you. I'll let you know once I'm done editing the video, and I'll send that your way. And what I'll do is I'll just clarify a few things. What you want me to add in the YouTube video, like what else we can link to, so people can always like check it out.
All right, we'll do.
Awesome. All right.
Hey, brother.
Peace, brother. You too, man.